Part 12. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 111. Wait a minute. Just when Li Chen was about to leave, Li Bu was suddenly shouted. Li Nanfei and Li Chen turned back at the same time, wanting to see what this little girl was up to. Li Bu rushed into the house with her short legs, and then rushed out with a few bags of snacks. Li Chen and Li Nanfei both put their hands on their foreheads. This foodie. Daddy, hug me. Li Bu held the snack bag in one hand and stretched out one hand for a hug. Li Nanfei glared at his stupid sister. To others, his sister was acting like a spoiled child. But only he knew that his stupid sister was being lazy. She wouldn't walk a few more steps if she could be held by someone. Sure enough, after Li Chen picked up Li Bu, the little girl immediately lay on Li Chen's shoulder and giggled. Can you walk? Li Chen tilted his head and asked Li Nanfei, who looked like a little adult. I'm not a 2 or 3-year-old child anymore, Li Nanfei snorted. Seeing Li Nanfei put his hands behind his back like an old man, Li Chen almost laughed out loud. Who did he learn this bad habit from? How old is he? He is so old-fashioned. However, Li Nanfei is very sensible, which Li Chen is very satisfied with. Oh! Li Chen just thought about it, and Li Nanfei fell to the ground with his hands behind his back. Tears were already welling up around his big eyes. Are you okay? Li Chen rushed over, quickly put Li Bu down and took up Li Nanfei's little hand. There was a little skin breakage near the palm of his hand. Watching Li Chen gently take off the small stone on his palm, and then gently blow it off, he asked, does it hurt? Li Nanfei sniffed and said, no. He retracted his little hand. Li Chen looked at the arrogant little guy in front of him, and said happily, since it doesn't hurt, let's go. Then he picked up Li Bu and walked forward. As soon as Li Chen left, Li Nanfei's face twisted and he gasped. It would be a lie to say it didn't hurt. He just didn't want this man to think he was unmanly. Looking at his little hand that was still a little bloody, Li Nanfei was about to blow it himself, but suddenly saw Li Chen in front of him looking back, and he immediately retracted his hand. His face calmed down. It really doesn't hurt. It's just a small injury, Li Nanfei snorted and followed with a firm step. Li Chen looked at it for a few times and raised his eyebrows. Let's see how long you can keep your mouth shut. When Li Chen turned his head, Li Nanfei grinned. He stared at Li Chen's back while blowing carefully himself. It doesn't hurt him. The home of old Dr. Zhao Dezu is still a little far from Li Chen's home. When Li Chen brought 2 babies to Zhao Dezu's house, although it was not dark, the light was not very good. You're here. Zhao Dezu just came out of the yard and saw Li Chen holding one and carrying another. Zhao Dezu's eyes fell on Li Nanfei's face, his face full of surprise. You're really fast. Li Chen. It seems that you had a lot of romantic debts in the past. Little guy, what's your name? Zhao Dezu looked at Li Nanfei's warm face and couldn't help asking. Li Nanfei. Good name, good name. Zhao Dezu pinched Li Nanfei's little face and laughed, your son is much more handsome than you. Li Nanfei stared at Zhao Dezu dissatisfiedly. He didn't like others pinching his handsome little face the most. However, after hearing Zhao Dezu's praise in the second half, Li Nanfei decided to forgive the old man temporarily. Do you have iodine? Li Chen asked. Yes, Zhao Dezu looked at Li Chen in confusion, who is injured? Li Chen glanced at Li Nanfei, who looked at him with a little shock. He thought this man didn't take him seriously at all. So there was this plan. Let's go inside first, Zhao Dezu invited them in. The moment he entered Zhao Dezu's house, Li Chen's face froze. Because there were 3 more people in Zhao Dezu's house. Li Nanfei accidentally bumped into Li Chen's leg, looked up and saw Li Chen's butt, and quickly took 2 steps back. He was a little kid, hiding beside Li Chen's legs, looking at the 3 people sitting in the house. a man, a woman, and a child. Li Nanfei tilted his little head, looked at his silly sister, and then looked at Li Chen. Why did he have such an expression when he saw the three people in the house? Are these three people related to him? Zhao Dezu didn't seem unnatural at all, and said, "Come in." Li Chen held Li Biwu, nodded, and after putting the little girl down, he looked at the man and woman hesitantly and said, "Second brother, second sister-in-law." Li Biwu and Li Nanfei looked at the man and woman at the same time. Li Biwu blinked, and Li Nanfei showed a puzzled look. The man sitting was 5 or 6 years older than Li Chen, and the woman next to him was still quite pretty. The girl in her arms was a sallow-faced, coughing girl from time to time. Li Feichen was the grandson of Li Chen's second grandfather, and was of the same generation as Li Chen. Yan Zhenkai was Li Feichen's wife, and the one in her arms was their daughter, Li Siyi. When she heard Li Chen take the initiative to say hello, Yan Zhenkai just nodded, neither enthusiastic nor indifferent. Li Feichen snorted coldly, and didn't intend to talk to Li Chen. When Li Chen and Li Chuanlong returned to the village, the Li family members who were targeted the most were the Li family members. They suffered a lot. There were reasons why the second grandfather and the great-grandfather's family didn't like Li Chen's family. Of course, Li Chen knew better that although these relatives didn't treat him well, they still supported him secretly. For example, Li Chen's daily necessities and food and clothing in the early stage, and later asked the third house to take care of Li Chen, but they didn't show up. Li Chen remembered all these. The people in the Li family have a bit of bad temper and like to pull faces. They won't say they are nice to you. Even when he bought wheat, Li Chen asked his third sister Li Zixan to talk to him, and the first and second houses agreed without any nonsense. This is all about affection. However, one thing is one thing, it is true that Li Feichen and his cousins don't like him. It's good that they didn't turn their faces away on the spot. "Come on, sit down," Zhao Dezu asked Li Chen to sit down as if he didn't notice the conflict between them. Zhao Dezu went in to get the medicine box. While Li Nanfei and Li Biwu were looking at Li Feichen and the other two, Li Feichen, Yan Zhenkai and Li Siyi were also looking at the two little guys. To be honest, whether it was the handsome Li Nanfei or the porcelain doll like Li Biwu, they really attracted people's attention. Li Nanfei's eyes rolled around, and he pulled his silly sister's hand and winked at her. Although Li Biwu was sometimes silly, she was still very smart most of the time. Seeing Sanguo winking at her, she immediately understood. The little girl timidly approached Li Feichen and the other two, and said in that cute and soft accent, second uncle, second aunt." Li Feichen's cold face collapsed immediately. Adults always make everything clearer, just like now. Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai liked these two babies as soon as they saw them. The key is that these two babies look too much like Li Chen. They are so well behaved and sensible, who can not like them? Yan Zhenkai is a woman after all, and she is the softest. Although she is holding her daughter in her arms, she can't help but overflow with maternal love. "Your name is Xiao, right? Come here and let your aunt see you." The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 112. Li Siyi, who was sitting in Yan Zhenkai's arms with a slightly painful expression, couldn't help but look curiously at the cute little sister in front of her. Li Biwu looked back at Li Chen and saw Li Chen's encouraging eyes, so he timidly walked toward the second aunt whom he didn't know well at all. Li Biwu walked up to Yan Zhenkai. Yan Zhenqing liked it very much and took the little girl's hand. "Xiao Wu, this is your sister Siyi." Seeing how handsome Li Bei was, Li Siyi stretched out her little hand and squeezed out a smile. "Xiao Wu. Sister, are you sick?" Li Biwu raised his little head and asked. "Yes, your sister Siyi has a cold," Yan Zhenkai replied, "so Xiao must be good when sleeping at night and not kick the quilt." "Xiao Wu is very good," Li Biwu said proudly, then looked down at his snack bag. Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai on the side didn't know what this little guy was going to do. Li Chen and Li Nanfei knew that this little girl was struggling. After all, eating is everything to her. Taking out snacks to share will definitely cost her half of her life. Li Biwu took out a bag of snacks with a confused look on his face, raised his little head and put his little feet on his head and said, "Sister, give it a try." Yan Zhenkai and Li Feichen were both shocked. There are no children who don't protect their food. Especially when they are not familiar with each other, it is really difficult to take the snacks from the hands of children. However, they never expected that this little guy would be so generous. Li Siyi took the snack, and her favorability level for this little sister immediately increased. "Thank you, Sister Xiao." Li Biwu's face turned red with embarrassment, and he turned around and ran into Li Chen's arms. At this moment, she actually felt a little shy. My brother Li Nanfei on the side was so wide-eyed that he was dumbfounded. Foodie is actually willing to give up his snacks? Oh my god. If the second sister knew about it, she would be furious, right? At this time, Zhao Dezu had already come out with the medical kit, and Li Chen immediately took the iota for. "Come over." "Oh," Li Nanfei approached obediently. "Hands out." "Oh." Li Chen picked up the cotton swab, used iota 4 to disinfect the broken skin on his palm, and wiped it with the rest of the clean cotton cloth. "This small injury is not a big deal, maybe it will scab over tomorrow." Li Nanfei looked slightly weird as he watched Li Chen do this for him in a serious manner and even blew a breath. Just when he was moved, Li Biwu on the side also stretched his head over. "Bah! Li Biwu! What are you doing?" Li Nanfei was furious. Li Biwu stared at her big round eyes and said, "Sangguo, does it still hurt?" "Li Nanfei! You spit on me and ask me if it hurts? Is there paste in your head?" Li Nanfei's mentality was shattered. This stupid sister was going to piss him off to death. Li Chen was stunned by the little girl's operation. He grabbed Li Biwu and said, "Where did you learn this?" I learned it from you." Li Nanfei. Li Chen. Haha. Zhao Dezu on the side smiled unkindly. Li Chen could only treat Li Nanfei's wounds again before holding Li Biwu in place, who wanted to escape. "Don't move." Li Biwu blinked his big watery eyes and looked at Li Chen pitifully, as if to say, "Can you bear to hit Xiao Wu? Li Chen has a toothache." Ever since Li Nanfei arrived, this little girl has started to let herself go. "Sit down." "Okay." Li Biwu immediately laughed and wanted to sit next to the three pots. Li Nanfei disliked his sister very much, especially because she had spit on him just now. He wanted to hit her. "Dr. Zhao." Li Feichen said. Zhao Dezu smiled and said, "Just start." Just when Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai were getting ready, Zhao Dezu turned to look at Li Chen and said, "Take a look first." Upon hearing this, everyone in the room was stunned. In particular, Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai had the biggest reactions. "Let Li Chen see a doctor? What kind of international joke are you kidding?" Just when the couple changed their colors and were about to stop them, Zhao Dezu stopped him and said, "Don't panic, just let him see." Now that Zhao Dezu has spoken, the couple can only hold back even if they are reluctant. Li Chen stood up, he already understood what Zhao Dezu meant. Learning medicine requires practice, and he has shown amazing talent. Zhao Dezu does not intend to cultivate Li Chen in the usual way of cultivating medical talents. This happens to be what Li Chen is looking forward to the most. If you show your true talents early, you won't have to constantly worry about the fact that your medical skills are exposed in the future. Li Chen walked to Li Siyi, showed a smile and said, "Let uncle show you." Li Siyi is only 10 or 11 years old. She looks very cute and well behaved. She didn't have any resistance to the uncle in front of her. Hearing Li Chen's gentle words, she immediately nodded obediently. "Do you have a cold?" "Yeah, Li Siyi responded with a thick nasal accent. Li Chen put his hand on Li Siyi's pulse, turned to look at his sister-in-law Yan Zhenkai, and said, "How are you usually?" "Always coughing, and there is phlegm." Yan Zhenkai naturally didn't believe that Li Chen had this ability, but for some reason, when Li Chen looked over, she subconsciously said it. "Siyi, open your mouth, stick out your tongue, let uncle see." Li Siyi hesitated and stuck out her tongue, and Li Chen carefully identified it. Zhao Dezu, who was standing aside, was paying full attention. He was also observing, but he was observing Li Siyi and Li Chen. "Okay," Li Chen touched Li Siyi's little head and said, "I have a bad cough, and the phlegm is yellow and sticky." Yan Zhenkai nodded, "These are all correct. Xiao Siyi shouldn't cough up thick phlegm easily, right?" Li Feichengdu was a little surprised now. "I took a look just now. She should be thirsty, have a sore throat, runny nose, sometimes have a fever, and have headaches from time to time." Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai's eyes widened, they all made sense. Li Chen added, "The tongue is red, the tongue coating is thin and yellow, the pulse is swollen, and the fingerprints are purple. This is wind heat attacking the lungs. Did you delay it for a few days?" "Yes," Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai replied immediately, their heads still buzzing. "How can this be? How does he know medical skills? The key is that everything he said hit the mark." Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai looked at Zhao Dezu, who was standing aside, and saw that the old doctor had already shown a smile of relief. "This cold and cough are not too difficult, but if it drags on for a long time, the child will be very tired," Li Chen said. "The main thing is to dispel wind and relieve fever, soothe the lungs and relieve cough. I'll give you a prescription. It has no side effects." The two couples were already stunned. "Is this the same guy? Mulberry leaves are 2 cents and 5 cents, chrysanthemums are 1 cent, almonds are 2 cents, forsythia is 1 cent and 5 cents, mint is 8 cents, platycodon is 2 cents, raw licorice is 8 cents, and reed roots are 2 cents, Li Chen quickly wrote. "The usage is also very simple. Just boil 1 cup of water and take it twice a day." After Li Chen finished writing, he put it on the table. "Mr. Zhao, this prescription." Although Li Feichen was shocked, he still looked at Zhao Dezu for help. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 113. Unlike the shock of Li Feichen and Yan Zhenkai, Li Siyi looked at this uncle with curiosity. She didn't expect that this uncle was not only good looking, but also could treat illnesses. Although she didn't understand a lot of things, it didn't affect her admiration for this uncle. Li Biwu, who was sitting on the side, was eating her snacks heartlessly. Diamond sued. Sanguo ignored her, and she had nothing to do. Li Nanfei really didn't want to pay attention to this foodie, but he was shocked. The more he came into contact with this man, the more curious and surprised he felt. Good cooking skills, rich, low-key, and now he can also be a doctor? How is this possible? Even if he is a real genius, he can only specialize in one field. He has never seen anyone who has made achievements in every field. Or is this just the tip of the iceberg he has revealed? Li Nanfei thought to himself that he had to find an opportunity to get his hair quickly. He was really worried if he didn't find out whether this man had any relationship with him. Even if this man is very nice to Xiao Wu and me now, a stranger is a stranger. What if he knows the identities of Xiao Wu and me? What choice will he make? Although Li Nanfei is young, he has seen many dangers in the entertainment industry, and he dare not gamble. He still has to find a chance to get this guy's hair. If it doesn't work, nails will also work. Just when Li Nanfei was thinking about it, Zhao Dezu had already said, The prescription he prescribed is completely correct. You should be able to recover after taking it for a day or two, but remember, it's best to finish it. Okay, thank you, Dr. Zhao, Li Feichen thanked subconsciously. You should thank your brother, Zhao Dezu pointed at Li Chen. Li Feichen's face was a little embarrassed, mainly because he and Li Chen were relatives, but they were really not familiar with each other. Li Chen was not used to the intimacy all of a sudden, so he simply didn't talk about this topic. The couple held the child and said hello to Li Nanfei before leaving. After they all left, Li Chen said, "Teacher, did you do it on purpose?" "What do you mean I did it on purpose?" Zhao Dezu widened his eyes, looking like he knew nothing. Seeing Zhao Dezu didn't admit it, Li Chen didn't say anything more. But he could also guess that Li Feichen and his wife brought their children to see a doctor, so he asked him to come over and took the initiative to diagnose and prescribe medicine. He didn't believe that Zhao Dezu didn't deliberately want to improve his relationship with his relatives. "I didn't expect this old man to take care of me so much. You've made rapid progress. I have a notebook with many cases here, and there are also various books collected here. Write them down when you have time." Zhao Dezu found a box with too many books. "Wait until you are familiar with them all, and then you can practice directly in the future." "Okay." Zhao Dezu suppressed the excitement and secret joy in his heart. Just now, Li Chen diagnosed alone, and he was actually nervous. If Li Chen made a wrong diagnosis or the examination was inaccurate, it would be a big trouble. Fortunately, Li Chen completed it smoothly, which made Zhao Dezu more certain that he had found a treasure. Good memory is nothing, talent is nothing, a real doctor still needs to learn and apply it. Undoubtedly, Li Chen did it. "Then I'll go back first," Li Chen smiled. How could he not understand what Zhao Dezu meant? "Okay, be safe on the road." Li Chen held Li Biwu and took Li Nanfei back home. Grandpa Li Chuanlong had already prepared the meal. "Wow, it smells so good." Li Biwu smelled the fragrance of the meal first and couldn't help getting down from Li Chen's arms. Li Chen patted Li Nanfei's little head and said, "Go eat quickly." "What about you?" Li Nanfei didn't rush in, he wasn't a foodie. "I'm not hungry," Li Chen smiled and said, "Remember to take a shower after you finish eating, and put your clothes in the small box." "Oh." Li Nanfei nodded and walked into the kitchen. "Wow, great-grandfather, did you make this?" "Yes." "Great-grandfather, you are so good." "Haha, Xiao Wu is also very good." "Sanguo." "What? This piece of meat is very big, are you new?" Here. Just say if you want it." Li Nanfei picked the meat in the bowl and gave it to the little foodie. Li Biwu immediately narrowed his eyes. He, thank you Sanguo." Listening to the laughter from the kitchen, Li Chen smiled and shook his head. Putting away the books that Zhao Dezu gave him, Li Chen began to clean up the house. Geese. The lion-headed geese outside are really different every day under the nourishment of the vitality water. They seem to grow faster than the little yellow dog Daodu. "Go in and rest." Li Chen opened the door of the railing. The leading lion-headed goose looked at Li Chen, then stood aside shaking his body. The rest of the little lion-headed geese stood in 2 rows and slowly entered the cage. Geese. Li Chen looked at the last one and kicked it. "You only know how to eat. Go in quickly and eat tomorrow." The leading lion-headed goose flapped its wings, obviously understanding what Li Chen said, and then went in. After taking the lion-headed geese in, the chickens, ducks and geese behind the house also stood in a small team. "Xiaohong, take them in." "Cluck, cluck." Xiaohong, the rooster with a big red comb, called out, signaling his family to go in first. The big white goose followed closely and pecked Xiaohong. Li Chen also discovered recently that his chickens, ducks, and geese seem to have some intelligence. Mainly because they are fed with vitality water every day, but some of them have very average intelligence. Among the chickens, ducks, and geese, the most ferocious ones eat a lot, so their intelligence is also opened quickly. Now they can understand what Li Chen says. After putting everything into the house, Li Chen washed the soles of his shoes, otherwise they would be full of shit. When Li Chen entered the house, Li Biwu was still eating, and Li Nanfei had finished eating. The little guy put his hands behind his back and looked at the moon outside with a thoughtful look. The tender little face, with this look, made Li Chen want to laugh. "What philosophy of life are you thinking about again?" Li Chen walked over and rubbed his head. Li Nanfei's face fell, and he adjusted his hairstyle that he had finally done. Seeing Li Chen moving a chair and sitting under the eaves, Li Nanfei also dragged his childhood sweetheart over. "Are you my dad?" Li Nanfei's dark eyes were like shining stones. "Ahem," Li Chen wiped the water from his cough and said, "Why do you ask that?" Li Nanfei pointed at his little face and said, "Don't you find that you look like me?" Ouch! He covered his head and stared at Li Chen angrily. "Why did you hit me? You are disrespectful." "Why don't I hit you?" Li Chen pouted. "Don't say that I have nothing to do with you, even if I do, you can't say that." "Humph! Do you have brothers and sisters at home?" "I won't tell you." "Is your mother beautiful?" "I won't tell you." "Oh, let go." Li Nanfei was twisted by Li Chen with one hand and looked at Li Chen angrily. He felt that this man must have nothing to do with him. Otherwise, why would he treat a child like this? "Do you think you are my son?" "No." "Then why are you blushing?" You are holding me up, how can I not blush?" "Oh, that's right," Li Chen put the kid down and said, "You came to me just to take your sister back." The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 114. Li Nanfei never thought that Li Chen would tell this matter in public like this. He was a little unable to react for a moment. He could also see that Li Chen really liked Li Biwu. Li Nanfei raised his head and looked at Li Chen. The two looked at each other. "Are you willing to do it?" Li Nanfei asked. Hearing this, Li Chen smiled and said, "When I adopted her, I thought that this day would come, and I didn't intend to lie to her. If she remembers her home and her relatives and really wants to go back, I will definitely let her go back." Hearing this, Li Nanfei's heart trembled slightly. He didn't expect that Li Chen would say such things. "Is your home far away?" "Far," Li Nanfei nodded affirmatively. "Where's your dad?" Li Nanfei was silent for a long time and said, "I don't know." "Don't know?" Li Chen was a little surprised. He thought Li Nanfei was lying to him. "We haven't seen him since we were young," Li Nanfei smiled, a bit bitter and a bit envious. At this moment, Li Chen realized that this boy actually wanted to have a father. Although she is usually very arrogant, she still likes to act cool. But after all, he is just a child. "Your mother didn't tell you?" "Said," Li Nanfei shook his head and said, "My father is dead." This result was unexpected by Li Chen. "Then Xiao Wu?" "Abducted," Li Nanfei explained. "We searched for her for a long time but couldn't find her. In the past, the people who followed her were quite unlucky. Even, the family despises her and says she is a disaster." Li Nanfei smiled when he thought of how Li Biwu had made everyone jump at that house in the past. "I don't think she's that unlucky, is she?" Li Chen asked doubtfully, his mind flashing back to what it was like when he first received Xiao Wu. "It seems, a lot of people did die. Etc. Wasn't Xiao Wu abducted? What about the traffickers who abducted her?" Seeing Li Chen's eyes gradually widening, Li Nanfei grinned and said, "Are you thinking about those human traffickers? I think, they must be disabled or dead." "Li Chen. You are right to think so. Otherwise, Li Biwu would not have been sent to an orphanage." The human trafficker may never have thought in his life that abducting an individual would take his own life. But Li Nanfei said firmly, we don't believe that Xiao Wu is a disaster star. Li Chen thinks so too. After this little girl arrived here, he, Li Chen, changed his fortune. This is not the virtue of the disaster star. When will you go back? Li Chen asked seemingly casually. Let's play for 2 days and then go back. Li Nanfei thought for a while and found that it was actually quite good to be here. There is his great-grandfather who loves him, and there is also the carefree Xiao Wu. Although the man in front of him didn't treat him well, he could tell that this man meant no harm. This is much more comfortable than that home. Okay, Li Chen nodded, now that we have found your sister, let's take her back. Li Nanfei looked at Li Chen in surprise and said, aren't you going to give her a gift? What can I give you? She's not my daughter anyway, Li Chen said nonchalantly, besides. What are you talking about? Li Nanfei frowned, he couldn't understand. Since you like Xiao Wu, why not give it to her? Let's talk again, Li Chen rubbed his head. Can you please stop messing up my hair? A brat with a hairstyle. Ugly. You are ugly. You're ugly. You're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, Li Nanfei roared. Li Biwu, who was cooking rice in the kitchen, heard the roar of 3 pots outside and his eyes immediately widened. Did Sangguo and Daddy have a fight? Well, this is a battle about a man's dignity. Oh. Li Biwu nodded and continued to cook. Evening. What do you want to do? Li Chen opened his eyes and looked at Li Nanfei extending his hand. Ah, I pressed my hand while sleeping just now, and it's a little numb. Li Chen glanced at it, pressed Li Nanfei on the bed again and said, go to bed early. Oh, Li Nanfei was lying on his back. It seemed that the trick of pulling out his hair was not going to work. He had been looking for it for a long time, but there was no hair falling out on Li Chen's pillow. This was outrageous. Early morning. Li Chen stretched his waist. Proper exercise is still good for the body. When he got up, Li Biwu and Li Nanfei were still sleeping soundly. Today I have to go to the village and collect all the Chinese herbal medicines from door to door. In addition, Pan Sichen will also come over, and if nothing unexpected happens, the wheat can also be sold. After all the land is vacated, he will plan all these fields reasonably. In his own open space, he had sprayed vitality water on the ginseng and other things. Now they are growing well, they are very big, and their medicinal effects are also very good. In the large water tank next to the house, strings of bubbles emerged. Only then did Li Chen discover that the butter crab in the tank had actually given birth again. As I see more and more butter crabs in the tank, I will definitely not be able to keep them like this anymore. Li Chen's eyes fell on the pond nearby. How about building this pond and expanding it at the same time? Butter crabs cannot be kept alive by ordinary people, and there is no way to raise them. After all, they are a seawater species. But since he has vitality water, he naturally doesn't have this worry. Now we don't need to make a lot of money from butter crabs, but now there are more and more butter crabs, so it's good to raise them as a specialty. Li Chen dripped vitality water into the crabs as usual and went out. Let's buy all the Chinese herbal medicines today. Li Chen, Li Jianhua and Li Peng, who received the news from Li Chen last night, came early. Li Chen can't finish the purchase alone. He needs help. In addition, they have already agreed with the villagers that the Chinese herbal medicines don't need to be dug out this time, but can be purchased directly after planting. At that time, according to the actual weight, more will be refunded and less will be supplemented. The villagers have no objection and hope that Li Chen will come to buy as soon as possible. Anyway, the fields will be contracted to Li Chen at that time, and how to deal with them next is Li Chen's business. Li Jianhua and Li Peng both have notebooks, as well as detailed record sheets and receipts. Since they are doing things seriously, they naturally have to be well organized. Auntie Xiao, we are here to collect the goods. Are you here? Auntie Xiao, who was sitting at the door, put down her bowl and chopsticks immediately when she saw Li Chen and the others coming, and took Li Chen and the other two to the field. We are all here. Okay, we will give you an estimated price first, and then settle the bill when our colleagues pull it out. How about that? Li Chen asked. Okay, Auntie Xiao and the others were overjoyed. Selling it early and getting the money in hand is the right thing to do. Everyone had no objection to Li Chen's handling. Then I will transfer the money to you. Okay, Auntie Xiao was overjoyed. All the things were sold out, which was a great relief. Li Chen took Li Jianhua and Li Peng to the next household, and the speed of collecting was still very fast. Ding, detecting the host's consumption, a 20-fold rebate has been triggered, and 1,681,500 has been received. The news that Li Chen came to purchase today was quickly transmitted to every place in the village. All the people at home were almost looking forward to it, waiting for Li Chen to come. Li Chen, Li Jianhua, and Li Peng had to rent a car from a farmer to speed up. It was already 11 o'clock in the morning when Li Chen and his team went around the whole village. Although they didn't have breakfast, the villagers were still very polite. Li Chen took out steamed bread and corn and stuffed them for breakfast. After finishing, the three of them were sweating and panting while sitting. Wait, I'll go back first. We have to apply special medicine next, and I'll leave this task to you. Li Chen patted them. After the work is done, you two will get a commission. Li Jianhua and Li Peng's eyes lit up when they heard this. Li Chen's next move will only get bigger and bigger. They have seen clearly that they may not make a fortune by following Li Chen, but they will definitely be able to eat meat and drink soup. Okay, don't worry. This matter is up to us. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 115. Ljia village is unusually active today. How much did you sell it for? About 120,000 or 130,000. So much? Yes, the old lady laughed heartily. If it weren't for Li Chen, our family would have lost a lot of money. Yes. Thanks to this kid. Bah, you say good things about him just because you give him some money. Don't forget that he cheated the village, a young man said. How can you talk like that? What do you mean he cheated the villagers? Does that have anything to do with him? Beat me, you bastard. What are you doing? What? Beat you to death, you ungrateful guy. Do you owe them money? They bought things from you at a high price, and you are still talking nonsense here. Is that how your old man taught you to behave? Dad, look at them. Ah, Dad, why are you beating me? You're welcome, everyone. I didn't teach you well. Just beat me. I'm wrong, stop beating me. Finally we have money. We have hope for our future. The Li family's kids are still responsible. Yeah, who dares to say bad things about him again in the future? Several uncles and aunts snorted. Whenever they heard gossip about Li Chen in the village, these aunts and uncles would be the first to disagree. Zhujia won. Zhou Ziqiang and others were extremely angry, but they could do nothing about it. Since the morning, they have heard the sound of celebration and encouragement coming from the village. They either heard how much money this family sold today or how much money this family sold. Because of the land contracting, every household in Jia village had at least 70,000 or 80,000 yuan in savings. Now that the Chinese herbal medicines they planted are sold, their money and family assets will be more substantial. All the people in Zhujiawan clearly felt that the atmosphere of the entire Jia village has changed. In the past, perhaps some people would never stand in line. But now it is different. There is no one in the village who does not stand for Li Chen. It's nothing, Li Chen did these two things too well. Land contracting has made everyone earn money from the abandoned fields that they could not plant. And the purchase of Chinese herbal medicines has completely broken the last layer of concerns of all villagers. Who should we thank if not Li Chen? What should we do? Seeing that the gap between the rich and the poor has widened, the people in Zhujiawan are anxious. They have fields, but Li Chen doesn't want them. They sold some of the herbs they had grown to Zhejiang at a low price, and their hearts were bleeding at the moment. If they had known that this situation would happen today, they should not have made things difficult for Li Chen. Even if Li Chen wanted to buy their things now, I'm afraid those villagers would not let them do so. It's a big loss. Who wouldn't be anxious to watch the money slip away? Why don't we go and apologize and beg him? If you want to beg, you can beg. I won't beg anyway, Zhou Ziqiang said stubbornly. Beg Li Chen? Isn't that a slap in the face? Isn't it just a loss of 100,000 or 200,000 yuan? He doesn't believe that he can't live without Li Chen. If you don't go, we will go, someone snorted. We came later and are also part of Ljia village. What's the big deal about begging for mercy? Let's go, let's go. Let's go and apologize together. We are indeed in the wrong in this matter. Seeing that the crowd was planning to go to the village chief and then to Li Chen for mercy, Zhou Ziqiang snorted. He didn't believe that without Li Chen, Zhou Ziqiang couldn't make money. Li Chen's house. Daddy. When Li Chen returned home, the little foodie Li Biwu rushed over immediately. Li Nanfei was still riding a bamboo horse and having fun. Li Chen kissed Li Biwu, and the little girl laughed so much that she had to kiss Li Chen too. Li Chen finally wiped his saliva and went into the house. The matter of watering the Chinese herbs with vitality water can be safely handed over to Li Jianhua and Li Peng. And he needs to exchange all the vitality water. Fortunately, the bottles are all there and can be recycled. Li Chen clicked on the system and smiled immediately. Only part of the money was given today, but the amount is also very amazing. A total of 3,512,634 was spent. This amount of money is definitely not enough, because he gave less, and when he dug it out in the end, he still needs to make up for it. But even so, according to the 20-fold rebate, he has more than 70 million. Click on the system, and the personal panel appears. Host, Li Chen. Wealth, 227,752,127. Skills, Ultimate Fighting Skills. Medical Skills, Perfect Level. Return Points, 12,309. Return Level, 20 times. 4,450,434/100,000,000. Currency exchange, 1:20,000. At this moment, Li Chen's total wealth officially exceeded 200 million. And the return points once again reached an astonishing 12,000 points. However, it is also an astonishing consumption to give all the Chinese herbal medicines vitality water. Chinese herbal medicines are not wheat, they consume more. For 1 acre of land, wheat only needs to consume 6 buckets of water and 12 drops. And Chinese herbal medicines need more, at least 18 drops for 1 acre of land. Li Chen just estimated that there are at least 200 acres in this village, which means that he now needs to exchange at least 3,600 drops. 7,200 return points are needed. Li Chen did not hesitate and exchanged them immediately, put them into the bucket prepared before, and then added dye. Since this thing is just for show, you still have to make a full set. After 7,200 return points were consumed, Li Chen's return points were only 5,109. Not bad. As long as Zhao Hualiang comes to buy it, he can make more. And when the villagers are paid the balance, his return points will be back, and his wealth is expected to double. Not a loss at all. After filling all the vitality water, wait for Li Jianhua and Li Peng to recruit people, and then you can start the construction. At this time, many people have come to Li Chen's house, all of whom are recruited by Li Jianhua and Li Peng to work. There are also a large number of old acquaintances from yesterday. Everyone came over with laughter, and just when they were about to work, the village chief Li Wenda came with people. Following behind were people from Zhujiawan. Seeing this group of people, Li Jianhua and others immediately frowned and looked unhappy. Why did Zhujiawan and others come to join in the fun? Li Wenda walked forward, glanced at everyone, and finally said to Li Chen, "They found me and hope to apologize to you." "Are they so kind?" Li Peng sneered. "They wanted to drive Li Chen out before, but now they come here to apologize. I think they see the power of money." Li Peng's sneer made the people in Zhujiawan blush. "I'm sorry," the leader took the initiative to say, "we were wrong before, hurting everyone and causing a bad impact on the village." "Stop it," Li Jianhua was also merciless and said, "Ljia village took you in, how did you treat your benefactor? Ungrateful, repaying kindness with hatred. The people who bullied us are getting more arrogant. Now there is no one to support you. Seeing that we are rich, you want to come and share the spoils. How can it be so easy? That's right. This group of people is not trustworthy. We trusted you at the beginning, but ended up in trouble." Many people who were ready to take the task said dissatisfiedly. Li Wenda was not surprised either, he was just a messenger. As for what to do, it depends on Li Chen. "I'm sorry, we apologize," everyone in Zhujiawan bowed together, but no one appreciated it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 116. The people in Zhujiawan chose to apologize. At this moment, a 90-degree bow. Whether Li Chen chose to forgive or not, they did it. Li Biwu had already hidden beside Sanguo, with her big round eyes, curiously watching this scene. Li Biwu, who had experienced all this, still remembered the faces of these people. Sanguo, Li Biwu lay near Li Nanfei's shoulder, blowing air while talking. Li Nanfei was tickled by the hot breath of Li Biwu, and pushed her away impatiently. Li Biwu came over again like a follower. What the hell are they doing? Apologize. Is apology a bad thing? Submit. Is submitting a bad thing? Are you done yet? Li Nanfei's forehead was bulging with veins. You don't talk so much nonsense at home. Why do you become more talkative than me when you get here? Will Daddy forgive them? I don't know, Li Nanfei shook his head. I'm not him, how can I know? Sanguo, can I sit with you? Don't you have your own childhood, sweetheart? No, I want to sit with Sanguo. Li Nanfei sighed helplessly and put the clingy little thing on his childhood sweetheart. Anyway, the seat is quite spacious. Outside the door, Li Chen looked at the group of people who apologized to him and waved his hand and said, "Everyone go back. As for the apology, it's unnecessary." Li Chen. The leader was anxious. We were really messed up before, and we are very sorry for everyone, but we have been reflecting on it these 2 days, and we also admit that we were wrong. Yes. We were really wrong. Everyone in Zhujiawan had tears and sincerity in their eyes. This time, Li Jianhua and others didn't say anything. Although everyone was indeed unhappy before, they were from the same village after all. It would not be good if they completely broke down and became enemies. More importantly, they didn't want Li Chen to be caught in the middle and have a hard time. Li Chen saw the village chief Li Wenda looking at him, so he had to say, "Everyone go back first. Some things happened and it happened. It's unrealistic for me to pretend that I didn't know or saw it. Whether you really admit your mistakes or fake them, to be honest, Li Chen, don't care much. If you really want to contract out the land and sell things to me, that's fine. I can give you the price of the land, but I can't give you the same treatment as them for the price of Chinese herbal medicines. I will only give you the normal market price. If you can accept it, I will send someone to do it tomorrow. If you don't accept it, it doesn't matter. No one can go unpunished if they do something wrong. Li Wenda nodded lightly, and he agreed with this treatment. Originally, he would think that Li Chen would not even pay attention to these people. But now it seems that the reason why Li Chen agreed is probably to repay his favor. At the beginning, Li Wenda supported Li Chen's family when they were in trouble. Now, it is not easy for Li Wenda to manage the village. The people of Zhujiawan apologized and bowed, and expressed their sincerity. Even if Li Chen did not like these people, he was still willing to make concessions for Li Wenda. This affection is still very big. Li Wenda also understood. The people of Zhujiawan showed joy on their faces. They also knew that it was unrealistic for them to make the people of Jiakan completely believe. But at least a key step has been taken. Next, they will let Li Chen and Jiakan know that they really have no intention of making trouble again and being enemies with everyone. Watching Zhujiawan and others leave, Li Wenda and others breathed a sigh of relief. Village Chief. Just as Li Wenda was about to leave, Li Chen said, "Is there an excavator in the village?" Excavator, Li Wenda looked at Li Chen with a puzzled look. Yes, Li Chen pointed to the small pond next to him and said, "I want to dig a bigger pond. And raise some things by the way." Yes, before Li Wenda could speak, Li Peng said, "There is one at the entrance of the village, I forgot whose family it is." "What the hell are you talking about?" Li Chen was speechless. "There is one at the Hu family," Li Wenda said, "I'll go and ask for your help. Do you just want to dig it bigger and deeper, or do you want to put cement around and at the bottom?" "Do both," Li Chen said. "Isn't there a cement factory in the village? I'll buy cement directly." Upon hearing this, the villagers immediately became active. The reason why they switched to growing Chinese herbal medicines is because business is getting harder and harder now. Ljia village actually has abundant resources. Whether it's a cement factory, a lime factory, a brick factory, or sand and gravel, they all have them. But the factories in the village don't have the accumulation of original capital, so even if they do well, the upper limit is here. And with the increasingly stringent requirements in all aspects, many factories can no longer operate. Cement factories and brick factories are the most obvious examples. Now several factories in the village are almost going bankrupt. If they can't compete with others, they have to close down. Li Chen wants to place an order, which is undoubtedly great news for several factories. At least, there are still orders now. Even if there are not many, it is better than no orders. "Okay, then I'll ask for you." Li Wenda nodded, and the village's economy is now being revitalized little by Li Chen. "By the way, village chief, is there no one to take over this factory yet?" Li Chen asked again. Everyone pricked up their ears. Could it be that Li Chen wanted to take over? This is a losing business. "Not yet," Li Wenda said truthfully. "This is the pillar enterprise of the village. But now it is almost unable to support." "Oh, okay, I know." Li Chen smiled. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. It would be good if Li Chen did not take over. During this period, everyone has regarded Li Chen as their own family. Part of it is because he has made everyone's family assets thicker, and the other part is that they sincerely hope that Li Chen will live well. After watching Li Wenda and others leave, Li Jianhua and Li Peng held a simple signing ceremony with the villagers. This must become a habit. There must be rules for making money and doing things. After they all left, Li Chen sat still. The cement factories in the village are poor, broken, and rotten. If you want to take over, you must first transform them and then upgrade the equipment. This whole process will probably cost at least $1 million. This is only the second problem. Even if the project is started, how to sell the cement produced is the second problem. If you can't sell it, what's the point of doing it? However, although Li Chen has an idea, he doesn't plan to take over now. He is now more Buddhist. Apart from worrying about his parents' revenge, he can get by with everything else. He didn't understand it before, but recently he feels quite relaxed living in the village with Li Biwu. Since there is such an environment, why should I force myself so hard? Li Chen thought silently that after he settled his parents' revenge, he would not care about these trivial matters. The news that Li Chen was going to build a pond had spread. They were all from the same village, so there was no secret. When they learned that Li Chen was going to recruit workers, people with this skill in the village rushed to Li Chen's house. Li Chen, do you need our help? Yes, yes, Li Chen couldn't help laughing. It was too tiring for him to do it alone. If you have money, spend it. The villagers are happy to make money, and I am lazy. Everyone benefits from each other, which is good. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 117. Come on, everyone, work harder. At this moment, the front door of Li Chen's house was bustling. After Li Chuanlong came back from the field with a hoe, he saw a large group of people gathered around his small pond, ready to start construction. What's wrong with you? After washing his feet, Li Chuanlong pulled Li Chen and asked. Building a pond, Li Chen answered seriously. No, you need 20 to 30 people to build a pond, Li Chuanlong pointed at these people. Grandpa, Li Chen held Li Chuanlong down, just stay at home with the two children, don't worry about other things, okay? Do you dislike me for being old? Not old, not old, Li Biwu shook his little head like a rattle and climbed clumsily onto his great-grandfather's thigh. Li Chuanlong smiled triumphantly and waved to Li Nanfei, who immediately came over with Li Biwu's toys. Okay, do whatever you want. He also thought it through. After all, Li Chen had grown up and had his own ideas. He couldn't keep up with the thinking of young people. Whatever Li Chen wanted to do, he must have his own plan. Seeing Li Chuanlong compromise, Li Chen finally breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Hu, thank you for your help, Li Chen came over and everyone handed over cigarettes. Everyone was a little flattered and took them with a smile. Brother Hu was driving the excavator, nodded with a smile and started to work. According to the progress of so many people, this big pond is estimated to be completed in 1 or 2 days. After all, the sun is also strong at this time, which is the best for construction. Boom! The sound of the excavator sounded. There was not much water in the pond, and now it was all drained. As for the lotus and wild rice in the middle, Li Chen didn't let anyone move. With this area as the center, radiate to the surroundings. At that time, even if there is no cement in the middle, it is not very important. Knock, knock, knock. The trailers also came. Cement and sand were transported here one after another. Li Chen came forward to greet them. This was all the instructions from the village chief, so the efficiency of the work was also fast. Li Chen was even more willing to pay, and handed over good cigarettes, and these people who were doing things felt comfortable. Li Chen didn't understand some things very well, but he knew how to communicate before. So he had a firm grasp on this part. This time, some people in the village benefited from the construction of the big pond. By then, the villagers will gradually form a habit, that is, helping Li Chen to do things, so they won't lose money. It's hard for them to find someone who is as straightforward as Li Chen in giving money. Hello, Brother Chen, it's me. Just as Li Chen was about to sit down, Pan Sichen's voice rang out. Where are you? I'm in your city. It will probably take 2 or 3 hours to get to your village. Don't worry, Li Chen said, be careful. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Li Chen stretched. The second house of the Li family. Siyi, how is it? Dad, I'm much better, Li Siyi said, jumping up and down. Compared with the lifeless state last night, her whole face is ruddy today. The key is that she always coughed before, and she couldn't cough up phlegm. Now the cough has stopped, and even the phlegm has gradually faded. Yan Zhenkai saw it, and it would be a lie to say that she was not surprised. If this was the prescription prescribed by Zhao Dezu, they would not be surprised or shocked. But this was prescribed by Li Chen. You said, let him give it to Dad and Grandpa. Yan Zhenkai said in a low voice. Li Feichen shook his head and rejected this proposal. He didn't have much hostility towards Li Chen. But the old man and the old man are not so easy to fool. Let Li Chen come to diagnose them, and he will probably be beaten by the two old men first. Wait a little longer, Li Feichen said, if Siyi is fully recovered, let's try. After all, they are all family members, and they have to make peace with each other. Okay. Brother Hu, here are your 500, Li Chen paid with a smile. Brother Hu was driving the excavator, had bright eyes. These 500 yuan were really easy to earn. Li Chen's pond was not small, it was more than 200 square meters, close to 300 square meters. Although it was only more than 5 meters deep, it was enough for a rural pond. Anyway, there was wasteland all around the pond. If you have any problems in the future, you can find me, Brother Hu smiled and patted Li Chen on the shoulder. Sure, Li Chen nodded and watched Brother Hu drive the excavator away. The huge pond has been revealed. The rest of the people were opening cement bags and mixing sand. Next, after compacting the surrounding soil, they will start to frame and paste cement to form a cement circle around it. 20 or 30 people started the work, and the speed was still quite fast. Although the pit was just dug, the soil quickly turned burnt yellow under the sun. Li Chen rubbed Li Nanfei's head. No matter how dissatisfied Li Nanfei was, Li Chen just laughed. Dad, where are you going? Picking vegetables. I want some too. Stay here and don't move. Li Chen stopped the follower and ran to the vegetable garden to pick vegetables. There are so many people today. According to the rules of the village, those who work still have to be provided with food. Li Chuanlong was responsible for taking care of the children, so the lunch could only be left to Li Chen. The amount for 20 or 30 people was really scary. But this time Li Chen didn't think there was any problem. The dishes were ready and there was some meat in the refrigerator. There was a big pot at home, so just stir-fry a big bowl. The vegetables in the vegetable garden were watered with Vitality water, so there was no problem with the taste. Green beans, celery, leeks, winter melon, pumpkin, wild rice stem, these are the main dishes today. Li Chen also processed all the remaining eels and loaches. Li Nanfei looked at Li Biwu rushing into the kitchen again and shook his head. He is really a foodie. Wow, it smells so good. Dad, you are so awesome. Woof woof. Every time Li Chen cooks, there are always two followers in the kitchen. Li Biwu and Daodu. Fried green beans with meat, a big pot full. Fried eggs, larger quantity. There are also fried eggs with leeks, braised winter melon. Steamed pumpkin, wild rice with meat. Cucumber ham, pickled beans with meat. Stir-fried shredded potatoes. Mapo tofu. Lettuce. Stir-fried loach and stewed eel. This is today's main dish. Pond area. This smells so good. Old man Li, isn't this your chef? Li Chuanlong smiled proudly, my grandson. This smell makes me hungry, it's as good as the skills of a star chef. Listening to everyone's praise, Li Chuanlong couldn't help laughing. Not to mention, this brat's cooking is really delicious. A super big round table was set up, and Li Chen reserved a small portion of the dishes for Li Biwu and Li Nanfei. The rest were served on the table in large pots. Even the rice was cooked with 3 or 4 liters of rice, just to prevent these people who do manual labor from eating well. Li Nanfei looked at the food on the table and couldn't help swallowing his saliva. He also felt very strange. They were all home-cooked dishes, but why did Li Chen always surprise people? Engineer Lu, how about we finish eating first? Li Chen wiped his hands and shouted beside the eaves. The food you made is really delicious. We couldn't help it even if you didn't shout. Come on, wash your hands and get ready to eat, so that we can taste the chef's cooking skills. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 118. Li Nanfei looked at the scene in front of him with a dumbfounded expression. He has truly never seen such a scene of eating. Not particular. Extremely unscrupulous. There are so many people standing at the table, holding bowls and eating rice. Either squat, sit, or stand. In short, there are all kinds of strange things and different shapes. Diamond suit. Li Nanfei is a fastidious person, but seeing such a careless scene for the first time made him feel a little at a loss. If he was allowed to fight for food with these uncles and uncles, he doubted that he would starve to death. But it is strange to say that these uncles and uncles all seemed to have never eaten these meals, and they all praised Li Chen profusely. He feels just average. Eat quickly, Li Chen stretched out his hand. Li Nanfei immediately ducked away. This man wanted to ruin his hairstyle again. Ouch! Li Biwu and Daodu were competing. Li Nanfei curled his lips. Stupid sister. How can you beat a dog? 10 minutes later. Sangguo, you eat the slowest. Nonsense, it's obviously Daodu. Li Chen. He didn't know if this brat's face hurt every time. I have to despise my own sister again, and it tastes so good in the end every time. He cooked a lot of food today. In the end, he was completely hummed by this group of people. They had a big appetite, so they were hungry. More importantly, Li Chen's meal today was the most delicious they had ever eaten. Not bad. 10 times better than Chef Wang in the village. This is strange. They are all ordinary dishes, but how come your Li family's children make them more delicious? Li Chuanlong sat on the table, laughed and said, of course this is my good training. Whispering sound. There were boos. Li Chuanlong's face turned red. These people don't give face. Li Chen hid his face and ran away. Grandpa, you have to look at the actual situation before you brag. You've been lying down since you came to the village. Why don't you take the lead and teach me how to cook? Do you really think these villagers don't know? Shame on you. What a shame. Hiccup. Li Nanfei's mouth bulged and he said, I'm number 1. Belch. Li Biwu looked at the rice in the bowl and couldn't believe that he actually lost. Seeing his sister's shocked look, Li Nanfei snorted as proudly as a peacock. The dignified foodie still can't hum me. Belch. Belch. Li Nanfei burped every time he took a step. Hiccup, why, hiccup. The beating made Li Nanfei feel even more uncomfortable. He looked at Li Chen eagerly and pointed at his constant hiccups. Li Chen also didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You said that you are a sensible child after all, and you still compare this with your sister. Li Chen could only squat down, pinch Li Nanfei's little ears with both hands, and then pull gently. Pull it yourself. Li Chen turned around and said, I'll prepare some hot tea for you. Okay, burp. Li Nanfei nodded. This time he was careless. Sangguo, what's wrong with you? Li Biwu came closer, her round belly looked so scary. Daodu looked at Li Nanfei and grinned, as if he was mocking. Hiccup. Li Nanfei kept hiccuping as soon as he opened his mouth, but he decided to shut up. At this time, Li Chen had already come over with warm water. While patting his back gently, he said, "Don't eat so fast in the future. You are no match for him." Li Nanfei scratched his head and wanted to refute, but thinking of how miserable he was with hiccups, he gave up the struggle. "Grandpa." When Li Biwu saw Sangguo ignoring him, he rushed out. "Woof woof." Daodu, the number one Machai, obviously likes Li Biwu more. With Li Chen's caress and the pouring of warm water, Li Nanfei felt better. "Are you feeling better?" "Yeah." Hiccup, Li Nanfei nodded. "Okay, then you should do some exercise first. Don't do strenuous exercise. Just walk back and forth." Li Chen patted his shoulder and said, "Go, I still have to clean up the dishes." Watching Li Nanfei leave, Li Chen shook his head with a smile and began to clean up the clean table. All these people ate it up, which was also an affirmation of his cooking skills. At noon, everyone is resting indoors or under the shade of trees. Wait an hour before continuing the work. A lot of dishes need to be cleaned, which is also a big project for Li Chen. Li Chen packed up all the food left for Li Biwu and Li Nanfei, and ate it all without disdain. If he doesn't eat these, he may have to wait until evening to eat. These two little guys actually still have a lot left to finish. Washing the dishes is also physically strenuous, and standing by the stove for a long time will make your waist sore. After all these things are settled, it seems that we will have to build large houses and install them with intelligent equipment, preferably automatic dishwashing. Li Chen thought happily. Anyway, now that he has money, he has to learn to enjoy it. However, thinking about it, he still had to wash the bowl first. The remaining various leftovers were poured into the pig food vat. Xiaozu should be eating meat today, after all, this dish is very rich. It was half an hour later when Li Chen finished washing the dishes. When he came out, the two little guys, Li Nanfei and Li Biwu, had fallen asleep on the small bamboo rocking chair made by Li Chuanlong. Li Biwu was still sucking his fingers, probably dreaming about food again. When Li Nanfei was quiet, he was still very good looking. Li Chen thought that this little guy would be amazing when he grew up, and he guessed that he would be a handsome man. "I don't know whose genes are so strong." He pointed the small fan at the two little guys, but he didn't turn on the air conditioner. After all, if he turned on the air conditioner, he would have to carry the two little guys in, and he might wake them up. Looking at the two little guys lying on the small bamboo rocking chair, Li Chen was a little fascinated. It's good to have a home, a wife, and one or two children. Li Chen stared at the faces of the two little guys, and didn't know what their mother looked like. He could be sure that he really had no memory of the past. As for the paternity test, Li Chen was guilty and afraid. No result means there is still hope. But if the result is that no one has any relationship, then he will feel even more disappointed. The appearance of Li Biwu lit up the light on his way forward. Now, the arrival of the little guy Li Nanfei has given him a different experience. To be honest, Li Chen is very satisfied with the current situation. If you don't break some things, there will always be possibilities. But once they are broken, many things may change. He cares about Li Biwu and slowly begins to care about Li Nanfei, the little arrogant. If Li Nanfei really wants to take Li Biwu away, then Li Biwu may not have no chance to come back in the future. But if a paternity test is done, everything will go towards the unknown. He doesn't want to, and is unwilling to destroy this beauty. "Dad." Li Chen looked at Li Nanfei mumbling and couldn't help laughing. This little guy really pretended not to care, but in fact he still wanted to know his biological father. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 119. The construction of the pond only cost Li Chen a lot of money. More importantly, he got a large pond without paying anything. The weather in the afternoon was still hot, and the scorching temperature made the slightly farther places look distorted. The people in the village are very honest and diligent in construction. There is no laziness. Diamond suit, diamond suit. After taking the money, I can't wait to help you get things done as soon as possible. The pond project is still in full swing. Li Chen has received a call from Li Jianhua. There are still many anxious people, all of whom are honest men. Prepare to start making special medicine for Chinese herbal medicine. Li Chen expressed satisfaction. After all, hiring people to work can also cost a lot of money. Coming to the warehouse, Li Chen looked at the flower seeds he bought and began to plan the next move. The land in the village, he has only contracted a few hundred acres now. But what can really be used is definitely not just a few hundred acres. There are still many wastelands that are useless and overgrown with weeds. Li Chen plans to find time to cultivate them. Pick out the seeds first, and then sort them out. Rong Cheng. Zhao Hualiang looked at the people below, who were all actively and nervously preparing, and he was still a little nervous. After all, he spent a lot of money this time, although the artificial ginseng there was indeed amazing medicinal effect. However, he really couldn't say whether it would explode this time. The pre-sale and trial in the past 2 days were okay, but whether it would succeed or not depends on today's official promotion. There are still not many people around the huge store. This time, Zhao Hualiang even opened online and offline sales, just worried that there would be situations that he couldn't handle. But now that the official promotion has started, this Yongfeng wine does not seem to have achieved the expected effect. Old Zhao, what's wrong with your business? Could it be that no one comes to buy it? A middle-aged man on the side had a gloating tone. Zhao Hualiang is his competitor. Now seeing that Zhao Hualiang's business seems to have no improvement at all, he is really happy. It is best to hope that Zhao Hualiang's Yongfeng wine that he has put a lot of effort into will completely fail. At that time, it will be He Jin's chance to come out. Looking at He Jin's sarcastic words, Zhao Hualiang still has a smile on his face. If he is provoked by a few words, then his psychological quality can only be said to be too poor. It's okay. After all, the weather is very hot now. It's normal that no one buys offline, Zhao Hualiang said. With the development of the internet now, sales in online channels are often more popular than offline. Now he is not wrong to say this. It's normal that no one comes out in such hot weather. He Jin couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Online? You've been promoting for so long today, but I haven't heard any good news from online. I think you should just forget about your new medicinal wine. What's the point of spending so much money? In the end, you'll lose all your money. In my opinion, those who sell you these junk ginsengs probably have bad intentions. He Jin mocked Zhao Hualiang and started to sow discord. He knew about the batch of artificial ginsengs that Zhao Hualiang had purchased, and he was really scared to death by him at first. I think Zhao Hualiang is going to rise again this time. But now, Zhao Hualiang's new medicinal wine doesn't seem to have achieved a good effect. Is it the problem of that batch of artificial ginsengs? Of course not. But this doesn't stop He Jin from using this method to disgust Zhao Hualiang. What if Zhao Hualiang really listens to him? He Jin can't get this kind of artificial ginseng, so at least he has to destroy it. Zhao Hualiang frowned slightly, and this guy kept chattering, which made him a little annoyed. I'm afraid your medicinal wine won't work, He Jin laughed. But the next second, He Jin couldn't laugh anymore. Boss, boss. At this time, Zhao Hualiang's staff rushed out, their faces flushed with excitement. What's wrong? Zhao Hualiang asked. He Jin, who had been planning to leave, couldn't help but stop. He liked to see Zhao Hualiang get into trouble. The bigger the trouble, the better. It broke out. When these two words appeared, Zhao Hualiang and He Jin on the side were both shocked. However, their moods were completely different. Zhao Hualiang really didn't come back to his senses this time. He subconsciously turned his head to look at He Jin on the side. Eyes wide open. Dumbfounded. Mouth wide open. Look of astonishment. This is the most appropriate adjective Zhao Hualiang could find in a short time. Zhao Hualiang smiled slightly and felt very happy. This dog thing has been talking back at him, and this time he finally let out his anger. Zhao Hualiang looked at He Jin with an unwilling look, so he asked calmly, "What's the big deal? If it explodes, it explodes. It's not the first time that it explodes." He Jin felt a pain in his heart and his blood pressure soared. Damn Zhao Hualiang, you are a piece of shit. Thinking of the years of competing with Zhao Hualiang's things became hot sellers at any time. But he has always been the second place. Zhao Hualiang glanced at He Jin and asked again, "How many orders are there now?" How could the staff not understand the boss's trick at this moment? They also said in a light Versailles tone, "It's just over 10,000 orders. Compared with the past, it's really less." He Jin. He glared at the employee just now. "What do you mean by just over 10,000 orders? Is more than 10,000 orders a store can do?" When He Jin's business was the best, there were only more than 10,000 orders a month. He Jin was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. Zhao Hualiang and his employees were nothing. He turned around and wanted to leave. "Old He, are you leaving?" Zhao Hualiang shouted. "My medicinal wine is not ordinary. It can not only dissolve phlegm and cough, but also promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. If you can't be a man, it can help you regain your masculinity. If you don't have a narrow mind, it can help him expand his mind. It's definitely useful. I'll give you a bottle." He Jin widened his eyes and looked at Zhao Hualiang angrily. "What do you mean? Are you saying I can't do it? Do you think I'm narrow-minded?" "No, no, absolutely not." Zhao Hualiang shook his head repeatedly. "I definitely didn't say you can't do it." He Jin's face looked better after hearing this. "I've always felt that you can't do it." He Jin. "Zhao Hualiang, do you have to humiliate me?" "No, the biggest characteristic of me is that I tell the truth." "Why can't you listen to other people's comments?" Zhao Hualiang blinked his eyes, "looking like I'm doing this for your own good." "You." He Jin's chest rose and fell violently with anger, and sneered, "Who can't pretend? There are more than 10,000 orders online, and it really looks like that. Hurry, hurry, it's here." A sudden voice sounded, and He Jin's face changed violently. "I only saw groups of people swarming in and heading straight for Zhao Hualiang's big shop. I tried it here last time, it was really good." "Yes, me too, I feel my waist is much better. I'm not bragging, I'm not a shill, I'm telling you the truth, the stuff here is really good. Boss, do you still have this medicinal wine?" The Country Life of a Rich Dad. Author, Wo Shihami Gua. Chapter 120. Everything is available, please don't grab it. Zhao Hualiang wiped his cold sweat. There were too many people here. In just a moment, the entire store was packed. If he hadn't been standing here, Zhao Hualiang would never have believed it. He Jin stood outside with a shocked face. This was a scene he had been dreaming of all his life. But this scene only appears in other people's stores every time, and they are his competitors. He Jin felt depressed and felt like he had a breath of air that he couldn't bring up. Why? How am I inferior to him? He Jin was extremely depressed as he thought that he could only watch Zhao Hualiang personally receive them. The huge store was overcrowded. In the distance, there are still crowds of people coming here. Too much. Dozens or hundreds. He Jin can no longer tell the difference. What he saw completely shattered the last glimmer of hope in his heart. Zhao Hualiang ignored him, mainly because he was too busy. Old Zhao, this new type of medicinal wine of yours is good, it's very effective. Can it be wholesaled in bulk? Okay, how much does a bottle cost? Zhao Hualiang said with a smile. Let's get 2,000 bottles first. If the follow-up is good, I will get more. Okay, let's go in and sign the contract. He Jin looked blank. Just take 2,000 bottles? What the hell is this? You know, one bottle of Zhao Hualiang's medicinal wine is worth 888. Just a small bottle. In other words, Zhao Hualiang earned 1,776,000 from this single order. Boss, what's wrong with you? The staff at Hejin were shocked. They only saw their boss falling straight down. Quick, call an ambulance. Zhao Hualiang accompanied many big customers and finally signed the orders smoothly. Seeing the still heated scene inside the shop, Zhao Hualiang couldn't help but wipe his cold sweat. Although he has always believed in Li Chen's artificial ginseng, and various data also show that Li Chen's artificial ginseng is indeed the best. However, he never expected that this medicinal wine would explode directly. Online channels are out of stock. Even though Zhao Hualiang had been fully prepared before, the inventory was sold out at this moment. And today, these offline channels are probably going to be even more popular. After all, many big customers are offline, and some things are best discussed in person. When Zhao Hualiang came out of the shop, he realized that the air outside was so fresh. There were many people inside and it was very boring. Hey, where's your boss? Zhao Hualiang wanted to continue to anger Hejin, but found that Hejin was gone. Hejin's employees looked at Zhao Hualiang with complicated expressions. Sometimes their bosses were real dogs, but this one was really not a human. My boss is so angry with you that you still ask where he is. Hey, what are you looking at? I care about your boss. Our boss has entered the hospital, the employee said speechlessly. Really? Why are you still in the hospital? Weren't you fine just now? Zhao Hualiang said in surprise. He couldn't stand it when the employee turned around and left. Don't you have any idea how my boss got into the hospital? Zhao Hualiang stood there blankly and touched the back of his head. How come this Hejin employee has the same moral character as him? What did I do? Shouldn't I just be angry with him? Why are you still showing off? This Hejin really has a weak heart, I have to give him a bottle someday. Boss, the second batch of goods is almost gone. Ah! Isn't that 8,000 bottles? Yeah, sold out. Zhao Hualiang. Hurry up and get the third batch. The third batch is also sold out online. Zhao Hualiang. He suddenly felt that the air was not very fresh. In other words, the 3 batches of goods on my side, with a volume of nearly 35,000 bottles, are all empty. Make knitting. Isn't this selling a little too fast? Boss, are you still connecting now? The employee asked. You can prepay online, but offline. Superior. Zhao Hualiang gritted his teeth and said, it's really a shame. It doesn't seem possible to be so hot all of a sudden. Yes, production can't keep up with sales. After all, this thing cannot be produced in large quantities at once. Zhao Hualiang was ready to explode, but it was still not enough. Beautiful. Zhao Yingzi appeared with wheat-colored skin. Get ready, we have to go to Jia village. Zhao Yingzi still looked cool and said, the road over there is terrible. Zhao Hualiang felt a pain in his mouth, and couldn't help but shudder when he thought of how he almost lost half his life in the past. How could there be such bad roads? Can't the road be built over there? Are you still going? Zhao Yingzi asked. Zhao Hualiang was a little annoyed by Zhao Yingzi's disdainful look. What are you looking at? Your boss. Am I the kind of person who can't bear hardships? Yes. Zhao Hualiang turned around and left angrily. I'm going to tell the people in the factory to work overtime and make preparations. I'll go the day after tomorrow. Anyone whose sales exceeded 30 million in one day would probably laugh out loud. But only Zhao Hualiang doesn't know how to do it, because he doesn't have many raw materials anymore. He has to go there in person. He doesn't trust others to do this kind of thing. Li Chen, you really can turn decay into magic. Thank you everyone. Li Chen smiled and waved, looking at the big pond next to him. I can't believe that this was built in one day. It's more than 200 or 300 square meters, and the bottom in the middle is about 6 or 7 meters deep. The surrounding is slightly shallower. What are you being polite about? The village foreman smiled and said, if you have work in the future, just find us. Okay. Then everyone, take care. The huge crowd went home, and everyone's face was filled with bright smiles. A team of more than 30 people, nearly 40 people, dealing with a small pond, is this difficult? It's not difficult at all. And Li Chen's wages are really not low. General laborers are 200 per person. And those who are mainly laying the foundation and pasting cement are 300. The labor cost of a pond alone has reached 9,400. If it were someone else, how would they dare? How could they bear to do it? The 20-fold return reward was triggered, and Li Chen got 188,000. Moreover, cement, fine sand, and gravel are not cheap either. All of these together cost nearly 28,000. With the 20-fold return reward, Li Chen got another 560,000. Host, Li Chen. Wealth, 228,462,727. Skills, ultimate fighting skills. Medical skills, perfect level. Return points, 5,147. Return level, 20 times. 4,487,834/100,000,000. Currency exchange, 1:20,000. Sure enough, the 20-fold data growth is really fast. Even though it is getting close to dusk now, the temperature is still very high. Moreover, the sun has not completely set. At most, you can wait for 1 or 2 days and then you can use it. Dad, Li Biwa ran out and said, I want to try it.